Oh, there you go.
I want to ask you a little bit about a Tommy Pham. I told you, hey, don't worry about the baseball side of this.
Right.
I want you to do a little research for me because I haven't had time to dig into Tommy Pham. I've only heard things, in the
A lot of allegedlys, right? Yeah.
in the ether. I'm just like, it just passes me by. So I want to get my investigator on this. MSS, what'd you find?
So I too unfamiliar with Tommy Pham's game. I've heard his name a lot, and I was like, he's mentioned the same sentence as Clevenger, and they're like, oh my god, another guy like this, and they're just like, okay, must have done some bad shit. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna investigate. So the first thing I do is go to Baseball Reference. He's got an 18.1 career WAR, which I was like, okay, that's decent. We'll take that. And I was like, oh, he was just in the World Series with the Diamondbacks. That's good. Like he hit 16 home runs last year. Okay, so now we're getting in there. So I'm like, let's go find the dirt. Why do people not like him? So Tommy Pham, I went down the rabbit hole, and I learned a lot about Tommy Pham today. So I was like, I'm not leaving any stone unturned as I go through and look in there. He has a twin sister. His mom was 17 years old when she had him. His dad was 19. His dad was also incarcerated when he was born. So his dad was not around for his like when he was born, and he was gone most of the time. His life has been incarcerated. I think he just got released in 2018. So he's been out for 6 years.
Oh, wow.
Now, Tommy doesn't have a dad at home. He mentions this many times in interviews, and he's used to play catch with a baseball by himself against a wall, would just throw a ball and learn how to field, and he would throw wiffle balls in the air to catch and how to field. So now he gets into travel ball. A lot of the coaches, they always say, it takes a village to raise everybody, right? Coaches would come pick him up because he showed talent. He was playing really good. They were driving him to games. He's on a travel ball team. And one of the stories that they popped out in this SI article was that when their team, the travel ball team, won the league, they went and celebrated at one of those like fun like go-kart places that has like all the shit, like the arcade games and everything. They had batting cages. All the other kids are out playing, right? And they're fucking around. They're just enjoying the success. Not Tommy Pham. Tommy Pham is in the batting cages taking fucking cuts the entire party. He's like, hell yeah. Shit ain't over yet, man. It ain't over. I'm going to fucking, he's like, I have access to a batting cage. Fuck them go-karts. I'm going to go and hit balls. So that's what he did. Now,
Tommy also did not look at the eclipse. Too busy.
No. He had a lot of shit going on. Fits right in with Pedro. This is good. That's who I thought he should smack, though. He'd be like, shut the fuck up, man. She just talk too much. So now, also in the SI article, he had this quote, and he said, he was talking about like him in the minor leagues. So like he does really good in high school. He was an A student. He does really well. He gets drafted by the Cardinals right out. He was committed to play for Arizona, decides not to play for Arizona, goes directly into the Cardinal system, is moving up. And while he's moving up and is going through, and he finally gets up there, he has this big, long fucking quote that I think like just personifies like who Tommy Pham is. And he says, the sting from his waylaying has less to do with his finances than it did about getting disrespected. He said, they said, we believe in you. You could do it all along. And that's the thing that's so mind-boggling. I said, if that's the fucking case, then why was I fucking demoted to AAA? And if that's the case, why the fuck was I battling in the 8th hole this year behind the guy who fucking got called up from high A? That's shit. That's fake shit, man. I was from a background where my mom kept it so real. My mom would be like, man, look, I don't have no money to get you nothing for Christmas. I don't have no money to get you nothing for your birthday. I'm sorry. I got to pay the bills. I respected her because shit. She told us from the get-go. All that is fake shit. Man, I was not raised like that. So, like, Tommy Pham,
I love that,
is not a joke. Like, the guy is just like, he understands this shit, right? He is not dumb. And I think a lot of people think he's dumb, and he is not. He's incredibly smart. And if you listen to an interview or listen to him talk, he is very intelligent. He doesn't now. He has like a little bit of Floyd Mayweather in him. Like he says fuck a lot. He cusses. He says some shit, and people. But that's what I'm saying.
That kind of guy.
He's in good company here. But if you watch one of this stuff now, as I said, you're straight A student in high school. His stepfather, though, when he was 25. Tommy Pham was like kind of struggling in the minors. He's like, he doesn't know if he's going to make it, doesn't know if he's going to go. So his stepfather is an electrician. So he was doing apprentice work with his stepfather because he was just like, I don't know if this is going to work. I didn't go to college. I got to figure out a way to make money. Like he's a grinder. He's a hustler. He's going to figure it out. Right. So he's working with his stepfather. Apparently, I don't know, something developed. They had some words and his stepfather fucking pulled out a knife and stabbed him. So like that was his first stab. Tommy Pham gets stabbed by his stepfather. Something that gets put in there, like when he was 26, but it might have motivated him to get back out on that baseball field and said, fuck this working in this fucking like a schlub shit. I'm going to go back out there and give it one more chance. Now,
doesn't like getting stabbed, gets back on the baseball field. Perfect fit.
Stabbed him right into the majors.
Hella motivation. So now here's some things about Tommy Pham. He's constantly trying to prove, like he's always was like, okay, I got to figure this out. He's had 5 hitting coaches that he pays, he puts on his payroll and has for his career to just tell him what he should be doing better. He's a huge analytics guy. Like he looks at numbers and he's like, I noticed this. Tell me how I'm supposed to change this. I'm going to do, whatever. He has a unsatiable desire to fucking win baseball games. This guy is fucking out of control, and he understands the business of baseball, I think, more than a lot of people. So like he's tuned in on this shit, and that's what I could see from him. Now, he got stabbed at a strip club in San Diego. That's another thing people talk about.
That happens.
If you watch the video, it's on TMZ. His back is cut the fuck open. Like if he had a tramp stamp, it was like a big long slash. Okay. Whoa. So now everyone's like, bad seed. Dude, guy goes to a strip club. He's not drunk. He fucking ends up suing the strip club because he said they did not provide the security, did not get, the people away from him when they should have gotten him away from him. And that's why he got stabbed. So now everyone's like, oh, of course he's going to say that. He's fucking innocent. No, motherfucker sued the strip club and won. They settled with him. They didn't even want to go to court because they had fucked up so badly. Wrong place, wrong time for this guy. Like he's just out having a good time. He's dressed just like his buddies too. They're all wearing like red sweatpants, which is, good decision when you get stabbed and you're bleeding out from the back. But like him and all his boys are dressed exactly the same. And he had asked these gentlemen to please move away from his car. I don't know if he said it that way because, he says fuck a lot, but they took a little bit of offense to that and a fight broke out and he got stabbed. So 200 stitches, did that shit. Anyway, the strip club pays off and they get shut down anyway because they weren't practicing like good COVID violations or COVID procedures and stuff and all that. That's probably why people were there. So they were, having to wear their masks. It was kind of funny to see all these people like getting fights and wearing masks. It was just odd. I know we're not that far removed from COVID, but it was just still like, oh, wow, yeah, that happened. So then the next thing you hear about a lot, and you alluded to it in the beginning, is the slap of Jock Peterson. Well, Tommy Pham,
very slappable face. Let's be honest. Very slappable face.
Yeah, oh my God. And if you listen to the interview of Jock talking about it, I wanted to smack him too. I'm like, I'm glad White Sox Dave fucking fucked this shit up because I don't want this motherfucker on our team. So Tommy Pham, Jock Peterson, and a bunch of other people, Mike Trout, all these people are in this fantasy football league. So like they're doing something. Tommy Pham calls out Jock Peterson and says, hey, listen, you're hiding people on your injured reserve list, and you can't do that. That's bullshit. That's cheating. Jock Peterson, being the smart ass that he is, goes in and screenshots the rule that says you can do it and sends it to him and says, no, it's totally legal. You can do that. And then he says, and you must be in another league because you're doing what I'm doing right now in this league. And so Tommy Pham's like, motherfucker. Okay, so you would think, all right, and people are like, well, that's why they got in a fight. Not exactly. Tommy gets put on to San Diego. Jock Peterson's on the Dodgers or on the Braves, wherever he is. Talks shit about the Dodgers or talks shit about the Padres to him. So he gets all pissed off, and he says to him, he goes, "Listen, motherfucker, next time I see you, I'm gonna fucking pimp slap you. I'm gonna pimp slap the shit out of you." Exactly what he said. So Jock's playing for the Braves. And Tommy's in Cincinnati, and Jock says he's out in the outfield. Tommy Pham comes up to him and goes, hey, he's like, I'm Tommy Pham. And Jock Peterson's like, oh, hi. And he just fucking nails him. And like people running in and like trying to stop the fight. And they're like, it wasn't like the bench is clearing shit, but like it was kind of like that because it stopped real quick. But Tommy's like, I told him I was going to do it. I went and fucking did it because the guy's a bitch. He's like,
I love this
shit. So
it's a man of his word.
In conclusion, Tommy Pham, I am fucking so happy he's on this team. I think he has you go through and you listen to him talk. People say he's a clubhouse cancer. You can't find a person that says, yeah, he was really bad in the clubhouse. quite possibly because he might smack them, but no one has said that it's come out. Okay, so like he's just like, I don't think he's the guy that people think he is, or maybe he is. I don't know, but like he seems to be really good and seems to set a good example of how hard you have to work to stay in this league and is not taking anything for granted. He always credits himself with his hard work and how he did there to get where he's at. He does not say, oh, this was God or so-and-so did this. He's like, fuck no. He's like, I busted my ass 24/7 to get where I'm at, and I'm going to continue to do that until I'm out of this game. So MySoxSummer, number 2 guy on this team when he comes up, Tommy Pham. 100%.
Wow, love it. Yes.
Tommy Pham's number 2. I'm good with this guy. I'll take him. I'll
so MSS,
in my seat with this motherfucker in front of us. I'll just say that right now.
Let me ask you a question. Because a big thing has been made about like the turning over the clubhouse. Man, there's too many problem guys in the clubhouse, and they're getting in real professionals and blah 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 blah. Do you think that a clubhouse is more improved by constantly